How operational plans are executed in PNP. The plans are made, same shall be put into operation and the result thereof evaluated accordingly. Operations in the PNP shall be directed by the police commander to attain the following objectives. Letter A, protection of persons and property. Letter B, preservation of peace and order. Letter C, prevention of crimes. Letter D, repression of suppression of criminal activities. Letter E, apprehension of criminals. Letter F, enforcement of laws and ordinances and regulations of conduct. Letter G, prompt execution of criminal writs and processes of the courts. And letter H, coordination and cooperation with other law enforcement agencies. Prevention of crimes. This activity requires the members of the PNP to mingle with the members of the community where criminal activities originate and bred, and criminalistic tendencies of individuals are motivated to indulge in antisocial behavior, and seek to minimize the causes of crime. This activity or mission also requires the individual members of the PNP to understand the people and the environment in which they live. The process to achieve this objective, prevention of crimes, is mingle or makihalubilo sa mga miyembro ng isang community where the crime happened or in the area kung saan maaaring magkaroon ng isang krimen. This is also to minimize the causes of crime or lessen the possible causes of crimes. PNP members will also understand the environment and the people in the community. Repression or suppression of criminal activities. This activity or omission emphasizes the presence of an adequate patrol system, including the continuous efforts toward eliminating or reducing hazards as the principal means of reducing the opportunities for criminal action. The saying, "the mouse will play while the cat is away," is equally true in law enforcement and in public safety. The presence of a policeman in uniform would be deterred or discourage the would-be criminal or would-be offender regulations. Crime repression means the elimination of the opportunity that exists on the part of the would-be criminal to commit a crime. This activity is the process of reducing the possibilities of crime through scaring those would-be criminals. As mentioned, the saying, "the mouse will play while the cat is away," na ang ibig sabihin sa law enforcement ay kapag may nakikita ang mga nagbabalak na gumawa ng krimen na mga uniformed officers or the members of the PNP, siguradong matatakot sila at hindi itutuloy ang balak. Members of the PNP will be deployed or will be in the respective areas where crimes often occur. Preservation of peace and order. This activity or mission requires the individual members of the PNP to gain the sympathy of the community, to close ranks in combating crimes and any other antisocial behavior of the non-conformists of the law and order. The community, therefore, should be informed through proper education of their share and involvement in the law enforcement and public safety. This activity is the process of gaining or getting the sympathy of all the people in the community, enable for both members of the PNP and the community to be united in combating crimes. Bago ma-achieve yung objectives na preservation of peace and order, kinakailangan munang magkaisa ng PNP at ng community.
Protection of lives, property. The responsibilities of the members of the PNP providing for the safety and convenience of the public are analogous with those of the doctor. The doctor protects life by combating diseases, while the PNP promotes public safety of accidents and in guarding the citizens' public safety, the delineation of hazards of accidents and in guarding citizens against the attacks of the bad elements of the society. The policeman also has a collateral responsibility in this obligation to protect life and property, a responsibility that is fundamental to every duty he performs. Police have the obligation to preserve the citizens' constitutional guarantees of liberty and the pursuit of happiness. Protection of lives and properties are the duties or responsibilities of a police officers or the members of the PNP, while doctors are protecting people from illness. Police officers are protecting people from different hazards, whether from a car accidents or crimes. Enforcement of laws and ordinances. These activities and mission requires the members of the PNP to constructively integrate or enforce and implement the laws of the land, city or municipal ordinances without regarding to the personal circumstances of the individual citizens and any other persons sojourning in the Philippines. This is to provide tranquility among members of society. This also includes the regulations of non-criminal conduct, specifically to obtain compliance through education of the public in the dangers inherent in the disobedience of regulations. This makes use of the warnings, either oral or written, which informs the citizen but not to personalize. This activity is the process of enforcing and implementing laws. Para maging payapang isang community, kinakailangan ipatupad ng maayos ang mga batas. No one will have any special treat except for the one who needed, like for example, is to those with disabilities. Apprehension of criminals. This activity defines specifically the power of the police as possessed by every member of the integrated police as means to discourage the would-be offender. The consequence of arrest and prosecution has deterrent effect intended to make crime or any unlawful act less worthwhile. Consequently, apprehension and the imposition of punishment for the corresponding unlawful act are committed, lessens repetition by causing suspect to be incarcerated, and provides an opportunity for reformation of those convicted by final judgment. This activity also includes the recovery of stolen property in order to restrain those who are accessories to the crime and thereby benefiting from the gains of crime. This activity is the process of deterring the number of crime and criminal acts by arresting them and punishing them with their corresponding punishments. Ang pagkakakulong o ang pagkakaroon ng parusa ng mga offenders ay nakakatulong sa pagbawas ng bilang ng krimen. Nagagawa nitong baguhin ang isang tao at hindi na uulitin ang krimen na nagawa at nakakatulong din ito sa pagbawas ng bilang ng mga tinatawag nilang would-be offenders o magkukumit pa lamang. If they picture themselves inside the jail or prison, maybe they will avoid committing different unlawful acts.
And cooperation with other agencies. This activity requires the duty of a commander of any unit of the PNP and its unit subordinates to establish rapport or good relationship with other law enforcement agencies of the government. Through rapport, a police station commander and his subordinates may be able to maintain a harmonious working relationship with other law enforcement agencies. Coordination is an essential conduct of a command. In this activity, the commander and the subordinates of unit of PNP are required to cooperate and coordinate with the other agencies of the government. Ang pagkikipag-ugnayan sa ibang agencies ay nakakatulong sa takbo ng serbisyo ng bawat agency. Safeguard public health and morals. This involves many activities or mission peripheral to basic law enforcement and public safety, such as, for instance, sanitation, search and rescue operations, licensing, inspection of buildings in order to determine whether or not the Presidential Decree on Fire Prevention is strictly obeyed. This also includes supervising elections, escort duties, civic actions, and many other activities or missions related to law enforcement and public safety. This activity is the process of maintaining the safety of the public.
Ito ay pagtutuon ng pansin ng mga officers sa mga simpleng bagay na dapat ay nasusunod para sa kaligtasan ng mga tao.
Patrol. The patrol force shall accomplish the primary responsibility of safeguarding the community through the protection of persons and property, the preservation of peace, the prevention of crime, the suppression of criminal activities, the apprehension of criminals, the enforcement of laws and ordinance and regulation of conduct, and performing necessary services and inspections. Patrol plan will help to achieve duties and responsibilities for the safety of the community. Patrol officers at mga rules and regulations as well as sa pagbibigay ng mahahalaga at kinakailangang services and inspections will be executed properly. Investigation. The basic purpose of the Investigation Division Unit shall be to investigate certain designated crimes and clear them by the recovery of stolen property and the arrest of conviction of the perpetrators. To this end, the Investigation Division shall supervise investigation made by patrolman and undertake additional investigation as may be necessary of all felonies. Planning will help the investigation to solve the cases as soon as possible by receiving stolen property, identifying and locating suspects, and help the court to execute their punishment. Traffic patrol. Police control of streets or highways, vehicles, and people shall facilitate the safe and rapid movement of vehicles and pedestrians. To this end, the inconvenience, danger, and economic losses that arise from this movement, congestions, delays, stopping and parking of vehicles must be lessened. Control of traffic shall be accomplished in three ways. A. Causes of accidents and congestion shall be discovered, facts gathered, and analyzed for this purpose. B. Causes shall be remedied. Charges shall be made in physical conditions that create hazard, and legislation shall be enacted to regulated drivers and pedestrians. And last, the public shall be educated in the provision of traffic and ordinances. Motorists and pedestrians shall be trained in satisfactory movement habits, and compliance with regulations shall be obtained by enforcement. The police shall initiate action and coordinate the efforts of the agencies that are concerned in the activities. Accidents at the highways are being reduced or lessened through the police control of rapid movement of vehicles and pedestrians at the highways. For example, para mabawasan ang disgrasya sa kalsada, naglagay ang government ng mga traffic lights o may traffic enforcers na nagbabantay.
Control shall be the determinant of the PNP in the control of vices, to treat vice offences as they shall do to any violation, and exerts efforts to eliminate them, as their attempt to eliminate robbery, theft, and public disturbance. Control of vice shall be based on law rather than on moral precepts, and intensive operations shall be directed towards their elimination. The primary interest in vice control results from the close coordination between vice and criminal activities. Constant raids of known vice dens shall be undertaken. Planning can affect vice control. It can accomplish the said operations, goals, and objectives, which is to control the unlawful acts. Like for instance, a person who use and sell illegal drugs, the government must provide or offer jobs. Juvenile delinquency control. Effective crime control necessitates preventing the development of individuals as criminals. The police commander shall recognize a need for preventing crime or correcting conditions that induce criminality and by rehabilitating the delinquent. Planning can affect the juvenile delinquency control because it provides actions to eliminate the number of juveniles who perform unlawful acts.